Polymorphism is the fundamental trait of any object-oriented program. So, what is it? Take a class describing a publication as an example. In this software, a publication can take one of two forms. It is either a book or a magazine. We can model that by subclassing. One subclass would be the class called book. Add a colon and follow it with the base class's name. Now comes the complication. Each instance of the book class consists of the publication plus whatever the book itself adds to the sum. Therefore, a book must also receive all the data required to construct the publication part of it. It would pass these data onto the base constructor using the base keyword like this. It is perfectly acceptable for the derived class to add its own state. A book would have an author. Other publications might not have an author. So, we define it in the book class. But the book's constructor must then include this information. It is a common practice to add that at the end of the argument list. The work on the derived class is now complete. We can define another derived class, such as the one modeling a magazine. Let's repeat the protocol. A magazine has the issue number. It must also receive the state its base class requires, that is the title and the publication date. There is one more detail you should know about polymorphic classes before we start using them. In many businesses, an object of the base class would have no meaning. There is no such object as a publication. It is either a book or a magazine. If that is the situation, you can declare the base class abstract. We do that by using the abstract keyword. That draws attention to this constructor here. Why is it public if nobody can use it to instantiate this class? It is common in practice to only include protected constructors in an abstract class. Such a constructor is only accessible to its derived classes, precisely to those who will call it. Let's get on to using this polymorphic type. Before that, let me remind you to like this video if you found it useful. Thank you. By the object substitution principle, we can assign an object of the derived class, book, to the reference to the base type, publication. And, by the same token, we can assign an instance of magazine to another reference to publication. This was the last printed issue of the PC magazine. The beauty of polymorphic objects is that it is not possible, nor is it needed, to distinguish objects behind references. We can read the title of either of these two objects without ever having to worry about their runtime types. Both objects are assignable to the reference to publication, and hence both must have this property getter defined. And it goes even further. We can define or override virtual methods on either of these types. There is a prior video on using virtual methods. I will kindly invite you to watch that video. The base class can provide its custom implementation of the toString method. It uses the state that is accessible to the base. But derived classes can override that behavior and produce their own variant. Both book and magazine will now format their printout separately. Every object has a toString method, and so these two objects at hand must have it, too. This code must work correctly. Let me quickly run the application before we complete this demo. Here, all three lines are displaying customized, varying content. And all of them were produced through references to the base class. Watch the other video about virtual methods. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and to like this video.